This is The Huddle, presented by the Midwest Christian Boys Football Camp, otherwise known as Man Camp. Welcome to The Huddle. Hey friend, I'm Mike McCurry, and you are in The Huddle. We are joined as we conclude this week by Pastor Joe Grimaldi. We've been talking all this week about preparation, but let's go kind of a big picture, overall general view of preparation. What are some questions, the young men that are listening right now? Imagine there's 7, 8 boys out here in your huddle. What would you ask them about preparation?
Well, yeah, we prepare a lot for sports. I know when I was young and I played sports, the night before I could hardly sleep. All day at school, it's all I could think about. And I learned actually at baseball camp to visualize. So I would be visualizing. I played shortstop. I'm visualizing, so many players on, what the count is. If the ball's hit to my backhand side, where am I going to go with it? I'm visualizing what's going to come. I'm playing all the scenarios so I know how to act instead of react. Right. And that helped me a lot about preparing for life because, young men, certain things are probably going to be happening in your life. You're going to be going to college. You're going to be getting married. You're going to either be going into ministry or career, and you need to play out the scenarios in your mind and start to think about those things. What am I going to need to do to get into college? Or what am I going to need to do financially? Where am I going to go to college? Start playing the scenarios and thinking about it and praying about it and ask God to give you wisdom about that. Same thing with marriage. What's the best thing for me to start to do to prepare myself? Start watching couples maybe in your church that you think of a really solid marriage. How does that guy act? What does he say? What does he do? Children, one day you're going to not be the child, you'll be the parent. And as a child you think, I wish my parents did this and this and this and this different. Well, now start thinking about that, praying about that, playing the scenarios out so that you prepare yourself. Prepare yourself financially for college and for all of these things. If you're in college or maybe you're already that age, we have some guys that are in college come to football camp. You're going to get married. You better start saving some money and figuring out some things and where you're going to live. Start to think in advance. These things don't just happen overnight.
Absolutely.
So you start to play out all the possible scenarios. Now, if I think about 100 things that might happen, only 10 of them are going to happen. But those 10 will be in my list somewhere.
Absolutely.
Somewhere in that list.
And to that point, something that I've done, I don't know where I learned this from, or just something that conjured up, or maybe I heard it preached somewhere, but I often think through some of the worst case possibilities.
Yep, always.
Basically, sometimes you come out of a football field and you get punched in the mouth. They come out, they take the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. Okay, how does this change does it change what we do? And so, no joke, a spouse to pass away. It's difficulties of life, and honestly, it's none of your business. All the things that I've thought through, because I've thought through some pretty difficult things. Yep. Can I tell you, as I sat in a ER room with my wife, being told she had a tumor around her spine, and giving you a call, and my father-in-law and father, can I tell you, I had thought about things far worse than that.
Yep.
And I was mentally and spiritually, emotionally, okay. I visualized. I've thought this. This is not a morbid thing. I think it's just preparation.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I do. I've sat in staff meetings as a pastor. I remember when we were buying the property in Minnesota for the church, and it was a large debt to go into for a very, very young church. And I said, what's worst case scenario? And there was quiet, and the guy looked at me and said, you die. If you die. I said, okay. We took out a life insurance policy on me in the church's name so that if I died, their debt would be covered, so that they wouldn't get stuck with this debt, because these were people putting up their houses and things as collateral for this debt. So if I die, I'm not going to leave them stuck. Boom, the money goes to the church and pays it off. So yeah, play out the worst case scenarios of life.
Absolutely, and then take legitimate action items based off of those things as necessary. You don't have to worry about the sky falling in. If that happens, we're all going home to heaven. It's
yep.
we're taken care of. But at the same time, I leave you with this question: are you preparing for anything in life? Or do you just take it one day at a time? I woke up today. God must want me. Yes, God wants you here. So get preparing, start preparing for the Midwest Christian Boys Football Camp. If you'd like more information, go to mancamp1994.org. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you for listening to The Huddle. You can find more information and register for Man Camp online at mancamp1994.org. Man Camp is a ministry of the First Baptist Church in Dwight, Illinois. Join us next time in The Huddle.